just back from a good Saturday run, 6 kilometers, and my pace per kilometer is like 1 minute faster than 2 weeks ago, which is kind of really good. But I think most of the improvement is just like my mind telling my feet to run faster. And I didn't run for years, and I always thought it's boring, but especially when you track like how you run, how you improve, and can see all of the stats, it like really motivates me. And it actually makes it really fun to have like free time, silent time to think about things, listen to music, listen to podcasts and all this kind of stuff. The only thing that really sucks is like taking your phone with you. I have the earpods, the phone usually in my pocket, and it moves. It is really annoying. I thought about like a strap up here. It's also not really the best solution because they get really sweaty. They move around, and like then taking it off to look at it and getting the time and everything is really annoying. So I think there's just like one solution, unfortunately, that will fix it. One that is unfortunately really expensive. But let's see how it goes.
Secrets too dangerous to give away. In my mind they'll stay.
So yes, I went out, bought an Apple Watch Nike edition, Series 5, the very new one, and it's nice. This was a very spontaneous, like I first went with Vanessa to the city to just buy some pants. I lost so much weight, I need new pants. Ended up in the first sport store to look for shoes for her. Saw some of these watches, like the other ones that are not from Apple. And I was surprised how expensive they are and that they're actually very close to the Apple Watch and aren't as well integrated to your phone and are just fitness watches, no smart watches, so a lot of functionality missing. I have to say it's a really nice watch. Unboxing it was a lot of fun as always with Apple stuff. Pairing it to the phone, very simple, you just hold it next to it and it works, and it's copying all of your settings from the phone to the watch. So Apple is really like, they know how to pull these kind of things off. And engineering wise, it's so impressive to have so much functionality in such a small device, and it's very well thought out, like the band, like the entire design, the OS, everything is working really nicely. But still I'm thinking about returning it and actually downgrading to the Series 3, the cheaper one, or maybe downgrading even more and just going back to taking the phone with me. But at the moment, I'm leaning towards Series 3. And here's the reasoning behind it. I've now tested it. And the always on display, which is like the main new function and feature of the Series 5, it's cool, it's nice. But while running, let me try and show you. So once you're in the running app and it goes to the always on state, it just blurs the background and shows you the time. That's it. You don't get any information about running or anything. So while running, you still have to turn your wrist to see what's happening. So the always on function only has the benefit that you can check the time while running. That's pretty much pointless. I hope they will address it in a software update. This is what is happening with all third-party apps. And it really contradicts the point of having the always on. You can't see your pace, nothing like that. So the only reason for the always on is actually to show off. Like, hey, I got the newest one, the most expensive one, and it looks cool. I like it, but I don't think I will always wear the Apple Watch. It's really for me for running. So the Series 3 would be actually enough. The other benefits that it brings with it are very small, like having the compass, like it's not necessary. GPS tracks you just fine. And battery life, I went for a run for half an hour and it dropped by over 20%. So the always on drains your battery a little more. And in general, the concept of the Apple Watch, for someone that doesn't do any sport, there's really no reason to it, because you anyways always have the phone with you. You have to have always the phone with you, otherwise the watch doesn't really work. I was even thinking about getting the 100 euros more expensive one that has 4G built into it, so that I could just listen to music on the go that I don't have to load before onto the phone. and also do phone calls and stuff like that, and maybe get rid of the phone for a couple of days a week and not be like hooked to Instagram and be able to focus more on making music and working in the studio. And there I anyways have my laptop with me. But the battery, it just can't handle I have at least like an hour of phone calls per day. The watch handles maybe 2. And if you then like do other stuff with it as well as like reading emails and other shit and maybe go for a run, it will be empty before the end of the day. I think most people will be still fine with the Series 3. If you have the money, if you want to show off, go with the 5. It will also last you longer because Apple will probably stop supporting the 3 in 2-3 years. That's usually what they do and force you to upgrade. Music playback onto the AirPods is really good, to all other Bluetooth enabled devices as well. So at the moment, I'm thinking of returning it and getting the Series 3 and just using it for 2-3 years. And I hope in the future they will make the newest Apple Watch like a standalone device. That would be really enough for me. And I think my life would hugely benefit. I would at least save an hour per day if I wouldn't take the phone with me and just had this for the basic stuff. So I hope Apple will work on this. And I hope with the third-party apps that they will also have like the capability to use the always on. Because at the moment, the only thing you can have always on is just the watch face, which is really boring. I would love to have like the running app with always on. And even then, it's like still fine to turn your wrist around. So yeah, at the moment, returning it because it's basically just an extension of the phone, and it's a really bad extension. It's just, it beeps, it lets you know what message you got, and usually the messages I get are important, so I have to answer. So I would anyways like just get it here, have to pull out my phone, answer it. So why not directly the phone? It's not that time saver, but a nice watch, to be honest. Like I love the design. Could be maybe a little slimmer, but all in all, a nice product. So for people that want the coolness factor or just have too much money. And one more thing that I actually really love, that's like the only thing I will miss about the watch, is like the decibel. I like it. It captures whatever, all of the noise around you. As a music producer in the studio, like DJing in clubs, that's actually really handy because at the moment, but again, you see at the moment I use my phone, there's like a decibel measurement app. And before I start DJing, I go into the dance floor, use it, check the decibels, and this way I know if I'm way too loud or way too quiet so that I don't damage everyone's ear. Having it on the watch is kind of nice, but again, the phone does the same. So there is still no necessary need for an Apple Watch. But it's still cool. You see, it's like, I don't know, back and forth. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching. We'll see us tomorrow again. I'll keep you updated on the watch. Tomorrow it's hopefully back to the studio. Sundays are good working days. No one's distracting you.
It's my secrets. I lock up and keep them. My secrets, too dangerous to give away. In my mind they'll stay.